Series. The epitome of tag team competition is the immortal Hulk Hogan and the Earthquake, captain of respective teams of the Big Boss Man and Dino Bravo. Joining up with Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Haku, Tugboat, the Barbarians, the Hulkamaniacs versus the Natural Disasters. Team captains, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Join up with Coco Beware and a mystery partner, along with the Anvil, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Bret Hart, the Honky Tonk Man, the Dream Team versus the $1 Million Team. Team captains Nikolai Volkov and Sergeant Slaughter. Join up with Tito Santana, Boris Zukov, Bushwhacker Butch, Sato, Bushwhacker Luke and Tanaka, it's the Alliance versus the Mercenaries. Jake the Snake Roberts and the model Rick Martel, captain of respective teams of the Superfly, the Warlord, Marty Jannetty, the Mighty Hercules, Shawn Michaels, Paul Roma, the Vipers versus the Visionaries. World Wrestling Federation Champion, the Ultimate Warrior, and Mr. Perfect, lead team members, Texas Tornado, Crash, along with Animal, Axe, Hawk, Smash, it's the Warriors versus the Perfect Team. It's the Survivor Series.
Oh, happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, it's the Survivor Series.
Survivor Series. Probably cut in Vince McMahon's intro for the beginning. That way everyone can hear him just destroy his voice to announce some wrestling.
Survivor Series.
The Hulkamaniacs take on the Dingleberries. It's the Thanksgiving tradition.
The Natural Disasters and the Vipers and the Shakedown Men.
Yeah, so this is our Thanksgiving special. It's this one's for you, Canada. They have their own Thanksgiving.
They got Canada's favorite son is on this one, Roddy Piper.
Yep.
He was really slinging some American propaganda.
Sure was. This is Survivor Series 1990. It is 2 hours and 21 minutes long. Jesus Christ.
Well, that's not that bad because I'm pretty sure Survivor Series these days is like 300 or 3 hours plus.
Yikes. Did you notice? Did you watch it on the WWE network?
I did watch it on the WWE network.
Did you notice it doesn't auto hide like the mouse cursor?
I watched it on my TV, so no.
I watched it on my computer, where I watch most things because my monitor is really good. But yeah, it doesn't auto hide the mouse cursor, so I had to like sneak it into the corner all the time. 1990, a banner year for wrestling. This is before the steroid scandal. A couple years, Hogan will leave because of the steroid scandal, and WWF will be fucked for a few years.
Yeah, basically until the Attitude Era starts.
Yep. Because no one cared about wrestling anymore. It also,
I hate to tell you this, Marks, but no one gave a shit about Bret Hart.
Fuck you, Bret Hart's the
and
best.
Lex Luger, fuck you.
Don't you marry the Luger Express or the
Lex Express.
Lex
we
Express.
talked about this before.
Yeah, and he
Lexi.
He's doing it for America. They're pushing him really hard to be the new Hogan, but
Yokozuna.
He didn't have any charisma.
That's not. All of his charisma was in his forearm.
He was in his glutes. Look at those glutes. Oh, look at those ham hocks.
What is this? What is it called? I don't even know anymore.
Yeah, we got Gorilla Monsoon and Piper on the mics, which I think is a pretty good combination. I liked it quite a bit.
It's pretty good. I think I prefer Monsoon in the body over Piper, but that's just
I think Piper's good because he does a lot of subtle talking shit about everyone. A lot of shooting on him. Howard Finkel's in the ring. You remember Howard Finkel?
I remember.
This is Howard Finkel.
Sean Mooney's here. Remember Sean Mooney? What a garbage.
I remember Sean Mooney, yeah. Rest in peace, Bobby Heenan. We'll just say that to start out this special. He's in it.
You're my boy Bobby Heenan.
Damn, Bobby. Miss you, Bobby. Hey, did you know there was a dark match between Shane Douglas and Buddy Rose before?
Oh, was it really?
They started the events of Survivor Series? Shane Douglas, yeah, the ECW champ.
Future ECW champ.
Yeah, not quite right now, though. ECW kind of exists right now, but it's not Extreme Championship Wrestling. It's Eastern Championship Wrestling. But yeah, Shane Douglas wins. This is, like I said, a few years before the steroid scandal. So while I was watching it, I was on that juicy belly watch.
You're looking at Hogan and fucking. There's no way the Warlord was not juicing.
Oh, we'll go over it every match by match. We'll talk about these juicy bellies, these juice bellies. So many steroids, your organs get oversized, and you get a juicy belly. That's the man stuff. Oh, so good. I wish I could get some of those steroids.
You can.
Steroid use in the WWF was rampant in the 1980s, and Bret Hart admits he was right in it all. Interestingly, he has said in the past that steroid use saved his career because it helped him overcome a knee injury faster. It also helped him earn more money. When I got to the WWF, everyone was doing it, Hart said. If I didn't take them, I wouldn't have a career. If you wanted to be a star, you take steroids because everyone else is taking them. If you want to keep your job, you've got to get competitive with everyone else. Hart also said wrestlers in the mid-1980s were more concerned with how they looked cosmetically as opposed to their technical ability in the ring.
No shit.
So with that in mind, it sounds like probably everyone's on the juice, so that kind of ruins Juice Belly Watch, but some guys more juice
juicing more than others.
Yeah. So
I remember hearing like Hogan, like, you're supposed to cycle steroids. I remember hearing Hogan never cycled.
I remember hearing like he had some scar tissue in his booty.
Yeah, he had like a baseball in his ass.
Yeah, he couldn't like get it in there. There's also a really good joke about like Kevin Nash tells about I think it's the Warlord. He asked Shawn Michaels to stick him, right?
Uh-huh.
And Shawn Michaels puts it in, and he's like trying really hard to push the plunger down to get the juice in there, and he can't get it. And Shawn Michaels goes, "Hey man, I think you're full." So that's pretty good. That's a good.
I mean, that's
anecdote.
one like, yeah, Shawn Michaels probably on the juice. Warlord way more on the juice than Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, I think it's the Warlord. It's about, I don't know. It's just a really good joke. You can find a YouTube clip of that. There's tons of shoot interviews on YouTube that I watch occasionally just to hear like all the really catty insider gossip.
They are like a clutch of old women.
Yeah. A big thing about this Survivor Series. There's a fucking giant egg.
I don't want to talk about it. This would be better if we just ignore the gobbledygooker.
What's in that egg? Gorilla Monsoon.
It's the end of
it's the end
Mean
of,
Gene. That's for sure.
It's the end of the WWF. Gorilla Monsoon calls it it looks like a Brontosaurus Rex egg. You know, the famous dinosaur, the Brontosaurus Rex. They let us know early on how patriotic this special is going to be. Gorilla Monsoon lets us know that this is being beamed to the Armed Forces Network. USA.
And again, Canadian Roddy Piper is very into America.
Yeah, he says, "Mr. Bush, take that drumstick out of your mouth. It's time."
And vomit on the Japanese Prime Minister.
whatever's going on. He mentions later on that his niece is serving in the armed forces, so I guess he does have a personal concern with it. Which I guess she's an American citizen or Canadian.
They fight all the time.
They're over there in Desert Shield, right? That's enough preamble though. Fucking whatever. It's 1990. They don't have all this bullshit coming out talking speeches in the ring shit formatting that the WWE has now. Fucking get to the action. And they do it.
VHS KvLT.
Sweat and a lot of limbs. We didn't wait for a bell to ring. We're unprofessional wrestling. Watch out the stray mattress springs. That carpet burn, it's gonna sting. I can wear a leotard if that's your thing. We're unprofessional wrestling. I don't even try to stop what looks like a figure 4-leg lock. I don't even care who wins. We're unprofessional wrestling. I don't think you know what to do. We're both still learning how to do.
Kick us off, we got the Warriors. Come out and play.
Warriors.
It's Ultimate Warrior, the modern day Warrior, Kerry Von Erich, also going by Texas Tornado, and then Hawk and Animal, who are
The Road Warriors?
The Road Warriors.
I think you mean the Legion of Doom.
Yeah, but I like that they're all it's the Warriors.
Yeah.
There's a little theme going there if you know what's going on. And then they're going to fight the Perfect Team, which is Mr. Perfect, Axe, Smash, and Crush, who are Demolition, which are Road Warrior knockoffs.
Well, I mean, like, I don't want to give the Road Warriors too much credit because they literally are just copying characters from the fucking Road Warrior.
Well, yeah, but the WWF created Demolition
Just to be
specifically because,
Road Warrior.
like, oh man, Road Warriors is fucking popular, man. Ultimate Warrior is the heavyweight champion at the time. They have no idea what they're doing with him, though. So he's been he's been third manning with Legion of Doom against Demolition in some weird angle where he just doesn't ever defend the title or ever have title matches. He just does tag matches.
Yeah, he has a title match against $1 Million Man after this.
Oh yeah,
They again.
Main event.
I got some some story notes here about the final match, but
we'll get to it. Now is a good time to talk about how many dead men are in this.
Oh, I don't want to.
Survivor
They're all
Series.
dead. Half of them are dead.
A lot of them are dead. This first match has the most dead men in it. But we're going to talk briefly.
No, I don't want to talk about the Von Erichs.
Well, we got to let the listeners know. I'm presuming we don't have listeners that are retro or wrestling fans in general because I don't think people really like wrestling anymore. Except for people pretend on the internet.
I feel like people like to just talk about wrestling on the internet and not actually
watch it.
WWE.
That's me. I like all the talk about the internet and seeing what's cool with the wrestling, and then I don't ever really watch it. I watched like the first episode of AEW, and I was like, "Good luck, guys." I just don't. Who the fuck has time to watch 2 or 3 hours of wrestling?
Oh, I
Like,
definitely don't have time to follow WWE because it's 3 hours of Raw and then 2 hours of SmackDown.
They also have NXT, and they used to have like a luchador show, and no time for it. Also, WWE sucks. Fucking sucks. But let's talk about the Von Erichs. The Von Erich family is a professional wrestling family.
The most depressing of the professional wrestling families.
Their actual surname, Atkinson.
Huh.
It's just patriarch Papa Von Erich, Jack Atkinson. He went by Fritz Von Erich when he started wrestling, and then they just kept it up, kind of like Ric Flair and Charlotte Flair. Because his name is not actually
David
Flair.
and
It's
all the Flairs.
Flair spelled differently. That's legit. His last name is Flehr, which is still like Flair. Whatever. He changed it to Flair because he's got so much flair when he decided to steal Gorgeous George's gimmick. When Papa Von Erich Fritz died of cancer in his Denton County home in 1997 at the age of 65, 5 of his 6 sons had predeceased him. Their firstborn, Jack Jr., he suffered an electric shock and drowned in a puddle at the age of 6 in 1959 outside their Niagara Falls home. That's fucked up. That's like such an old-timey way to die, too. Or like it sounds like a Soviet way to die. You know what I mean? Like, I electrocuted by bad wiring, fallen puddle. Oh, could not breathe in snow.
Yeah, but that was like 1986.
Take that, Stalin. I mean,
He was wall dead by 1986.
Gorbachev. I hope there's no tankies that listen to this show.
Yeah,
if there are, like, fucking, I don't care about you, man. You dumb.
There's 2 tankies wrestling in this. Although I don't, Nikolai Volkov might not be a tanky by this point.
Yeah. 1984, David Von Erich. He's considered the best. Everyone thought he had the most potential. He was really killing it in World Class Championship Wrestling, which was their father's promotion that they all wrestled in. Flair, Roddy Piper, tons of people like, oh, he's going to be a star. He actually died in a Tokyo hotel room from enteritis at the age of 25. Flair, once again, and other people say it was actually a drug overdose that the family covered up. So,
yeah, judging by the history of the Von Erich family, I'm going to say, yeah, probably.
That's wrestling for you. Next up was Mike, who didn't really want to be a wrestler. He had to step in for David when he was injured while the Von Erichs were feuding with the Fabulous Freebirds.
Oh!
And that's how he kind of got started. And then he would get brought in to like cover for other brothers. And he's kind of didn't want to do it, and he wasn't as good or as big as his brothers. And then when he committed suicide, he said he was tired of letting the family down, and he took an overdose of Placidil near Louisville Lake in 1987 at the age of 23. So far things are going great. Next up, we got Chris. He was he had some health issues because he was very small compared to his brothers who were huge. This is the thing with the Von Erichs. You Fritz Von Erich, you have 6 sons. One of them dies young, but then you got 5 other sons. 4 of them grow up to just be giant men. What are you gonna do with them? I don't know. Make them wrestlers, I guess. What do you do with 4 giant dudes? Chris, however, he was small, asthmatic, and had brittle bones and couldn't wrestle, even though he was the most into wrestling.
That's all the way it always is.
The way it is, yep. He shot himself in the head with a 9mm handgun in 1991 at the age of 21. And then, of course, now we got Kevin Von Erich, who is the last surviving son. He's still alive. He was able to accept the WWE Hall of Fame for his family. Yeah. But what about Kerry, Mr. Texas Tornado? He was all right? He's doing okay.
I mean, for a professional wrestler.
Well, let's find out. On June 4th, 1986, Kerry was in a motorcycle accident that nearly ended his life. He suffered a dislocated hip and a badly injured right leg. Doctors were unable to save his right foot, eventually amputating it. According to his brother Kevin, Kerry injured the foot following surgery by attempting to walk on it prematurely, thus forcing the doctors to amputate it. He continued to wrestle after the accident with the prosthesis and kept the amputation secret to the majority of the fans and fellow wrestlers, even going to the extreme of showering with his boots on. His amputation was kept secret from the public till after his death. However, Roddy Piper stated in his autobiography, "We were the best of friends. In fact, he felt comfortable enough to sit with me in a hotel room and shoot the breeze with his prosthetic off." Which, that's real close friendship.
Yeah. Apparently, if you're going to tell a secret, Roddy Piper's a person to tell a secret to.
Yeah, he doesn't tell secrets. Roddy Piper's a cool guy. Everyone knows it. Jeffrey Toombs, right? That's his real name. After the amputation of his foot, Kerry became addicted to painkillers, followed by several drug problems. He was already on the juice and doing drugs and stuff before that, but this kind of made it worse. Among the many problems he had were 2 arrests, the first of which resulted in probation, 1 day after being indicted for the second charge, which likely would have resulted in extensive jail time due to the probation. Kerry committed suicide with a single gunshot to the heart with the .44 caliber pistol on February 18th, 1993, on his father's ranch in Denton County, Texas.
Yeah.
Shoot yourself in the heart? That's intense. I don't think that would get you right away.
No.
And just some more grim information.
Well, we're starting off this podcast on a high note. Go ahead.
Bret Hart states in his autobiography that while he and Kerry were on the road to Fort Wayne, Indiana in October of 1990, Kerry had told him that he had decided to join his brothers in heaven and was waiting for God to tell him when. Bret, being smarter than most wrestlers, told Kerry that his living daughters would probably need him more than his brothers. Kerry mostly convinced Bret that he had changed his mind, but Bret feared that it was only words. Kerry told Bret again in the summer of 1992 that he wanted to follow his 3 brothers, David, Mike, and Chris, and that they were calling to him. Kerry's marriage had fallen apart earlier in 1992, and according to Hart, Kerry believed that his death was inevitable.
Yeah.
So, Von Erichs, man. Ugh. That's the thing, too, is, the Von Erich curse, blah, blah. There's not a curse.
They're like a depressed chemical imbalance.
Yeah, and then their dad their family, the only thing the family had was wrestling. They didn't get, support or guidance from their dad. It was just wrestle, and the wrestling business was terrible, carny, drug addict business, and they just kind of fell apart, No curse, just no one helping each other out, really, Not to say it's anyone else's fault, but it just really seems like there wasn't any cohesive
support system,
yeah.
Right? I mean, it's not even the dad's fault because dad doesn't know what he came from the same world. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he has no support system either. He hasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, Bret Hart might be smarter than other wrestlers, but he didn't get him any help.
No, exactly. He's just like, well, we'll just talk it out, right? That's fine. Done. And then he's like, it's probably just words. Oh, well. But that said, Texas Tornado is really cool. I liked him a lot as a kid. He always does that spinning right hand, which seems badass when you're a kid. When you think about it now, it's like you wouldn't get any leverage.
That doesn't help you.
You ruined the kinetic chain, man. But he did have a good run in WWF as Texas Tornado. He got Intercontinental title. He's an Intercontinental champ during this match. And on the mic, Ultimate Warrior says in their pre-match interview, and then like eagles and God's wrath, and they can't survive, and he's like,
All right, team captain, the World Wrestling Federation champion is psyched for this one. The Ultimate Warrior, your thoughts here at the 11th hour.
Surrounded by the force field, my warriors channel to us. Even you, Gene Okerlund, cannot escape now. You must stay with us until D-Day, this Thursday, Turkey Day. Maybe then you will be released, but until then, I will program these individuals to stay unstructured and unbalanced.
The best was Animal. Like, it's like he froze when they give him the mic.
yeah. Well, Animal, Hawk's always been the mic guy for Road Warriors. He does all the talking because he's much better at it. Animal's just, and then we're gonna beat you. The Road Warriors are from Detroit, and they're like real old school, like Detroit ghetto, like fighting all the time kind of kids. Like if you watch Animal's shoot interviews now, you could tell why he was on the mic. Not that he's a bad speaker at all, like off the cuff, but he's just like really like he's from the streets, you know what I mean? Like the stuff he says is like when you listen to like an old timer who's like lived in fucking Vallejo for the last 60 years.
Their haircuts I've noticed are very forgiving to the old man who's losing his hair. Because like if you look at Axe and Smash of Demolition fame, don't look as good with their
Axe. In this, it looks like he just got his hair did. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it looks like he just got some plugs or something. This is also his last match in the WWF.
Oh man, it feels like he's ready to go.
Well, yeah, none of the Demolition look very good.
No, well, I mean, I can't. Smash can't be around for much longer. He turns into the Repo Man, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, because it's him and Crush for a little bit, and then Crush, and then I think he gets hurt and takes a little break. Crush becomes Kona Crush. Drozdov or some, I can't remember what his name is, but it's not Drozdov or Drosy, but it's similar. The guy in Smash, he comes back as Repo Man. Smash like can still fucking go. He actually does a lot of the work in this match because that's what he's known for, is being like a worker. You know? You notice that in a lot of these Survivor Series matches, you can see who can actually like wrestle and like has gas.
Yeah,
and the other guys, it's like, oh, okay. The Legion of Doom theme.
I'll point out Tugboat when you get to him.
The Legion of Doom theme, that shit still fucking slaps. I'm like, yeah.
It is a rush.
Ultimate Warrior, shitty in the ring, crazy on the mic, but that entrance.
Oh yeah, it's hype.
Yeah, he's just like, his music's just like, and he runs in, slapping the fans, he's shaking the ropes, and he does the thing calling for the gorilla press. But he's raising the roof, really. Ridiculous. That's pretty much all he had, though. Warrior is, of course, going to win solo, right? Because he's the Warrior. Whatever, he's the champ. Axe is out first because Axe doesn't look like he's going to hang in much longer.
Well, I remember like this. I think one of the last matches he actually wrestled before this is that SummerSlam match where they lose the tag team championships to the Hart Foundation, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And I remember like he's barely in that match too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think at one point he sneaks up from the ring and like replaces Crush. That's like their man. I can't believe how much of this I remember.
Yeah,
but it really felt like they brought Crush in because Axe is starting to lose it.
Yeah, he just doesn't have any more gas or something. But then he goes on to continue wrestling.
I know. I think he still wrestles, doesn't he?
No, he's way too old now, but he's like in his 70s. Demolition and Legion of Doom disqualify each other because that's
what they do.
Yeah, they're just fighting. Up until that point, though, Texas Tornado and Smash were doing all the wrestling. They let like Animal and Hawking do some power moves, right? Because that's what they do. But it's like, okay, so Texas Tornado and Smash are the guys that can actually wrestle and not have a heart attack. Kerry Von Erich, Mr. Tornado, fucking so juiced out. When I saw him, I was like, man, I gotta get some of those steroids. Look how big this man is.
He looks more impressive than the Warrior.
Yeah, absolutely. The Warrior's too greasy. Also, Tornado's bigger than the Warrior. That's toxic masculinity, though, where I'm just like, man, I want to be big like that. I want to just not be able to touch my back.
You already can't.
I can still get most of it. It's just these lats, man, getting in the way. So it's down to Mr. Perfect, Warrior, and Tornado. We haven't mentioned Mr. Perfect too much because even though he's like the best technical wrestler in the match, he doesn't get to do anything till the end. That said, he does wrestle for like 12 minutes straight at the end. So there you go.
He was good. Mr. Perfect was a great character.
I love Mr. Perfect. He could only in like the 80s, 90s eras could he really do what he was doing, but remember, he used to come out and toss the towel behind his back. I remember practicing that all the time as a kid.
Or his gum when he spit it and hit it out of the air.
Yeah, he's perfect.
Or,
And
I just like his promos because it was always like he'd just throw a basketball from behind his head. No, he made it.
Yeah, like that was when he was first coming in and they were hyping him up.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, he like just could never miss threes. Oh, he's so perfect. Perfect gets the perfect plex on Texas Tornado. Never been kicked out of, so Tornado's gone. Can't beat the perfect plex. Until moments later when the Warrior does. Shit. The Warrior does his 3 moves and beats Mr. Perfect.
Yeah, he doesn't do the gorilla press slam in any of these matches. He does that little shoulder block and
yeah, I'm convinced he can't do it to most wrestlers. Like, I don't think he's actually that strong.
he did it to Hogan in WrestleMania 6 though.
Yeah, and he probably blew out his shoulders. He's like, never doing that again. With God's help, I could maybe shoulder press Hogan again.
You know, queering don't make the world go round.
Yeah, that's his classic quote. That's that.
Man, who's a shittier person, Hogan or Warrior? I don't know.
I don't know. So that's that for that match. The rub of this Survivor Series is all the winners go on to the main event.
I was thinking about like how, because the Survivor Series, they don't really do the 4-man tag anymore, do they?
I don't think so.
I was thinking about how they could bring that back and actually make it mean something. What about the same thing where they bring it all the way to the end, but you get like a title match or something,
you get a trophy,
you win, or you last spot in the Royal Rumble or some bullshit reason to make people actually care.
Yeah. I don't know if they have like tag matches in the WWE anymore.
Tag division at all, right?
Yeah. Like tag team? What's that? Which fucking
I used to love. That was my favorite.
tag teams are the
division
best.
was my favorite.
Well, like since the wrestlers get to theoretically work only 50% of the match, like they fucking go. You know what I mean? Like they'll actually wrestle the match because they get to take breaks. Which is, I mean, I'm like, some of these guys are amazing athletes, but you can't wrestle for like 20 minutes. You know what I mean? No one can. Who's gonna do that?
Me.
So on Death Watch, a few rest in pieces here. Hawk died at 46. Crush dead at 43. Mr. Perfect dead at 44. And then finally, Ultimate Warrior, but he gets a rest in piss. Fuck Ultimate Warrior. He's just some fucking homophobic Christian bullshit chud. He has his own like little church or some shit, didn't he? He's like a internet evangelist. Fuck that fool. I'm glad he's dead. But we'll see him again. He'll be back. What do you got to say about the match? What do you think?
I don't know. I remember liking this match way more as a kid. Like I remember really liking Survivor Series. There used to be a couple pay-per-views we used to rent all the time from like Blockbuster.
Mhm.
This is one of them, WrestleMania 6, and like some of the Royal Rumbles. But I don't know. This didn't do it for me the way it used to.
Yeah. I do think there are 2 mostly good matches in this, but that wasn't really one of them.
No.
I like seeing because like I said, I've been watching a lot of shoot interviews and like behind the scenes wrestling shit recently, kind of to get prepared for this. And there's a lot of people that talk about Smash. Like, I wish I could remember what his real name is.
Barry Draws?
Yeah, Barry, something like that. It's Barry for sure. And then everyone would talk about, like what a good worker he was, and like he was so reliable. He like take care of you in the ring. He could like really wrestle.
The opposite of Bob Holly. Right?
Yeah, and then watching this, I was like, that's why he's in the match the whole time, because like he's the one that can actually do the job. We gotta do belly watch before we move on. Ready for belly watch?
Belly watch.
Demolition just doesn't work out. They look like all 3 of them look like they worked out a couple years ago. Worked out a lot a couple years ago, and then haven't been back to the gym. Mr. Perfect, he looks a little juicy. I don't know if you can really get that big without the juice, but he doesn't have a belly, so I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he just works out a lot. But he's kind of just like a wrestler, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Warrior and Kerry Von Erich are full of the juice. Oh my god. And Legion of Doom, so they look like powerlifters. You know what I mean? Their bodies are just like big, strong guys, but powerlifters are like on steroids too, so they're probably on steroids.
I will say that Animal definitely kind of has like a little bit of a steroid body for sure.
Yeah, he's just he's got so much belly though. I'm like, man, he likes to eat in addition to eating.
I mean, if you're working out, you gotta eat.
Well, you gotta have that tank, man, that engine. That's like powerlifters now. You always see them with bellies. That's just because they don't ever get to the phase where they cut. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just stay as big as possible forever. So maybe that's all the Animal's doing, right?
One of my notes here is nipples to lose an eye to. So someone had some crazy nipples in this one.
Let's see. Who had
I think it was one of the Demolition.
Crush had some pokey guys. Maybe it was them.
Yeah, maybe it was Crush's pokey guys.
And then of course Axe with his brand new hair. Man, he's probably so excited to reveal that hair. He's feeling like Joe Biden back in the 90s. But then, oh man, this is my last match. All right, now match 2. The $1 Million Team.
One of the greatest villains in
I like
wrestling of all time is $1 Million Man.
I like Ted DiBiase a lot. I think he went on to become like a born again Christian type fellow.
Yeah,
a lot of these nerds did. Prison, like fucking life sentence prisoners and professional wrestlers all find God. But as far as I know, he hasn't said like hateful shit. So, and he is one of the greatest heels of all time. So we got Honky Tonk Man. That's Jerry the King Lawler's cousin. Greg the Hammer Valentine. They are rhythm and blues at this point.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I like that they made Greg the Hammer Valentine dye his fucking hair black.
Yeah, so I mean that blonde wasn't his natural color.
No.
They come out to the shittiest rockabilly song you
I always think that's like part of the gimmick is just how shitty.
Bad. Well, that was Honky Tonk's gimmick. Remember, they tried to get him to play guitar, and he would be like ding dong ding 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 dong dong.
I always thought like whenever I saw Jeff Jarrett, I'm like, you're just doing a shitty Honky Tonk Man.
Yeah, that was actually Jeff Jarrett's dad, Jerry Jarrett. That was his gimmick too, around which would have been before and kind of around the same time as Honky. Ted DiBiase, that's $1 Million Man. He's got Virgil with him. Whoa, they got surprise partner, surprise teammate. This is a surprise. And at the beginning of the match, I think Gorilla Monsoon's like, "Oh, this surprise will blow you away." And this is probably the first time and last time in WWF
that he was right.
Where you're like, "Oh, okay." Because guess what? This is the first on-screen appearance of The Undertaker, which would go on to be the longest, most successful gimmick that wrestling's ever had, like for sure, right?
Yeah, I mean, like easily. I mean, I don't know, like you can't consider Hulk Hogan a gimmick, right? Not like a true gimmick. Not even like Roddy Piper or Macho Man, but Undertaker. For at least 15 years, he played a fucking zombie as a wrestler.
Yeah, then he was a motorcycle gangster,
and then back to zombie,
and then then he was like the leader of a cult.
Yeah, but he's still
and then he's a zombie again. Yeah, which is the most ridiculous gimmick. Only in wrestling could it work.
And it worked.
It fucking worked, yeah. So Undertaker was brought in to replace Bad News Brown, who had left the WWF after being reneged on a promise to be put in a feud with Hulk Hogan and becoming the first black WWF champion. Yeah.
That would have been a good feud.
Yeah, but too bad of racism.
Yeah. I've said it before. I think Junkyard Dog should have got at least the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, I like Junkyard Dog. They did that thing though that they always do with usually they relegate it to Samoans or Fijians or Tongans, even though they'll call them all Samoans. That's the first racist thing they do is they say they're all Samoans. Oh, they got such hard heads. Which we'll see some of that later tonight when Jimmy Snuka shows up. And
murderer?
They did that same thing with Junkyard Dog though, remember? Like, oh, his head's impervious. I like when Undertaker first comes out and Piper is like low key kind of burying him. He's like, look at the ham hocks on that fella. He's like calling him out like butcher meat.
My notes here, Piper was great in the commentary of this match.
And yeah, he's got like the quote of the night for me where he's just like, He doesn't look friendly at all.
Jimmy Hart's great in this match too. I worked on a couple of those things that he yells out, like, "You got the rhythm now, baby!" And then at one point, when Undertaker's in the ring, he's like, "You better call 911 now."
Yeah, I also like his. He does all the talking. Well, most of the talking in the promo beforehand.
Yeah.
And I don't remember all the stuff he says, but just at the end, he's like, "We will survive." And I was like, "Yeah, that's pretty good."
Jimmy Hart's great. He's no Bobby Heenan, but he's up there.
Yeah, so everyone knows Big Ginger goes on to be Undertaker, the greatest wrestler of all time. Unfortunately, though, it's recently come to light that Mr. Mean Mark Calloway himself is a dumb fucking chud redneck too. So fuck him.
Is that surprising? Again, that's most wrestlers.
I mean, I'm never shocked by wrestlers being shitty, but as soon as they tip their hand to reveal it publicly, it's like, all right, you fuck now, Undertaker.
Has Jim Duggan said anything awful?
I don't think so. He probably just said, "Oh."
All right.
Did you ever see there's a gimmick at one point where I don't remember who he was feuding with, but he went they sent Jim Duggan to Ireland to research his like ancestors.
Oh my god, there's another point I haven't noted here about how racist Jim Duggan's character is.
It's so funny to watch it and just see these regular just Irish folks
with Jim Duggan
having to interact with Jim Duggan like in character. Because like, yeah, this is your grandmother and this is where she lived, and he's just like so loud and obnoxious. And it's like, okay,
the Irish take it all right though.
Well, this is like stuffy older historians, and you know what I mean. It's not just like people out
it's
on the
not
street.
the street Irish.
Yeah, and they're just like, oh, well, okay, yeah, sure. He doesn't look friendly at all.
They really sell Undertaker in this match.
They sell the shit out of him.
You kind of forget how athletic he was when he first started.
Man, he looks so good. He's a fucking Big Ginger, man. Yeah, he looks like he could do anything. He's like climbing on the ropes, jumping around. It's like, hell yeah, this guy's gonna be like a star.
I think
like,
next Survivor Series is him and Hogan,
goes
right?
champion next Survivor Series, yeah. That's enough talking about those losers. It's time for the heroes. The Dream Team.
Dusty Rhodes.
American Dream. Dusty Rhodes. Bret Hart. Jim the Anvil Neidhart. And Coco Beware.
They have both the Hart Foundation and the new foundation in this match.
Oh yeah, I don't think Owen and Coco are a tag team yet though. But they will.
Didn't Anvil team with Coco too?
But that'll be later on when
It's
Bret.
such a weird. It was like Anvil and Owen, and then Owen and Anvil, right? Or no, then Owen and
Coco.
So weird.
It was because of like Anvil's drug and injury problems, I think. So he's in and out, if I recall. So we got Coco Beware, Jim Neidhart, Bret Hart, Dusty Rhodes. Coco Beware, you'll see, is also wearing black and pink. It's like he's already a member of the Hart Foundation. He doesn't look friendly at all. Dusty's entrance theme, fucking banger. I forgot about that shit. I was like, oh man.
American Dream.
And then I forgot he did that roll punch.
I love
he does
it.
like the hand roll.
I mean, like Dusty in WWE, this is after his career's on the downward trend wrestling wise.
Yeah.
But he still has it. You can see why he was really popular.
Why is the shit? I just like, man, that white fella's got some soul. Also, the Hart Foundation jackets are just, ooh, what a look. What a look. Piper mentions now that Bret Hart's brother, Dean Hart, passed away the day before, which is sad. And Bret Hart's at Survivor Series, and his brother just died, that's wrestling for you. And the reason why Piper mentions it on air, I guess, is because
they're friends.
They're friends, and also Vince McMahon didn't say shit about it to anyone, to Bret or anything.
Oh.
So, yeah, Vince McMahon, he's great.
I wonder if Vince McMahon still does the thing, because I'm pretty sure the announcers today have Vince McMahon in their ear constantly.
Yeah, even back then, he would have been in the ear talking shit.
Oh, really?
Yep.
And now, performing our next nominated tune is a man who has repeatedly proven that he cannot talk, and who tonight will prove that he can't sing either. Vince McMahon performing, and I believe this is good advice for all of you here and at home, to put your fingers up your ears and Stand back, Vince McMahon.
I was just a boy. Everybody told me what I should do, who I should be. I got no time for your fight. I finally had to say, stand back, stand back.
I can't imagine Piper put up with that shit.
I think he's probably the best at ignoring it because he still just says whatever he wants.
He also probably didn't work out because I don't remember Piper doing too much commentary.
No, eventually they give him Piper's Pit. They he has to get like script approval for Piper's Pit. Obviously, he doesn't follow along with it because he says some wild shit there too. But the thing is, like, fans really love Piper, so he could just kind of do what he wanted. DiBiase's entrance is great too. Money, 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 money. They don't like have any of these cool songs in modern day wrestling. It's all like fucking knockoff, like butt rock.
Yeah.
You know, in the 90s and shit, where all the wrestlers still looked like it was the 80s and they all listened to Poison and shit. They all had long hair and like stonewashed jeans and shit. Like they never moved from the 80s at all. That's like the wrestlers now are like, man, remember Linkin Park?
Nickelback?
Linkin Park, that was the best. Those are the best times of my life. I just never not wear the Jinko jeans and listen to Linkin Park.
You remember Jingo jeans? They're coming back.
Yeah, basically what I'm saying is wrestling still does not attract the coolest of the cool. Despite The Undertaker being a brand new guy, supposed to not know anything about him, he Tombstone pile drives Coco to eliminate him, and Gorilla Monsoon calls the Tombstone.
I'm pretty sure that's the wrestling move is called Tombstone Pile Driver even before that.
Nope.
It wasn't?
Nope.
Oh.
And he wasn't supposed to do it. As soon as he says it, like, I'm sure Vince is in his ear, and then Piper's trying to like extend it. So he's like, oh, it's a Tombstone Pile Driver, and then Piper's like, what was it? And it's like, Tombstone, I think. I don't know. Problem is, Undertaker had actually already wrestled a couple matches before. In house shows
and shit,
that Gorilla Monsoon did commentary for the recordings and stuff. So, that's what you get when you tape shit and release it at weird times. But I just think it's funny that Piper's like not gonna let him get away with it. Did you see those gnarly stretch marks on Dusty's shoulders?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What the fuck's that from?
It's getting big, probably.
I got some crazy stretch marks from the
Getting
growth
tall
spurt
too fast.
puberty.
Yeah. That's because he got stretched out real quick. Oh, this is where we see that Honky Tonk is legitimately a honky. Did you see him try to dance? He does like real stiff, like, woo, woo.
You shake, round and roll, baby. You got the rhythm now, baby.
Yeah, he's real straight up honky. He gets eliminated though because we can't have any more of that shit. Then Anvil's out. Anvil doesn't do very much. He gets to do a few strong guy moves, like power slams and stuff.
He doesn't really get to do his anvil laugh either.
And then he strokes his goatee. His very puby goatee. Why is it so stiff and puby? I guess that's beards for you.
The pubic hair of the face.
Yeah, so Undertaker's back in, and this is where you're like, damn, Big Ginger can really move. He's up on the ropes, jumping off of him. He does that thing where he like jumps in the air and stomps on Dusty's head. I don't know why you would need to do that, but it's still like, wow, he can jump and stuff, and he's like 6'9". Wow, this guy's talented. Why didn't he play fucking basketball?
He's not coordinated enough.
He also like couldn't jump that high. I guess he wouldn't need to at that height.
Yeah, at 6'9", you don't really have to jump that high.
We should mention that Undertaker's valet, his manager at this point, is Brother Love.
Oh, I just forget about that.
Brother Love. Brother Love. What do you mean? What do you think the kayfabe like reason is? Where did Brother Love find Undertaker?
I don't remember, but wasn't there a lead up to this where like there was a Piper's Pit with Brother Love and Undertaker on it? No, with Brother Love on it.
Brother Love talking about the Undertaker. Yeah.
What is the? I don't remember. How did Paul Bearer come about? Do you know?
Probably Brother Love got fired or something. Oh no, he had his own show.
Yeah, he still was around.
His
after
own
that.
talk show in it. So maybe it's just they had to move shit around. Paul Bearer, the guy, I forget his real name. I think it's like Mark Fisher. No, Mark Fisher's a philosopher. So I don't know.
Like I said, there's two, eh?
Maybe. But he's a long time in the business kind of guy that's like friends with a lot of people. So Vince probably just wanted to bring him in and like it worked.
He had the perfect voice for him.
Yeah, because the whole thing is like Undertaker doesn't talk at all at this point. Eventually, when he gets to Attitude Era, he'll cut like a 20-minute promo on Kane. It's the worst thing you've ever seen. But right now, the whole thing is like he doesn't talk because he's a zombie.
He's like one or two words.
Yeah.
That's what, and it's always very deep and like he elongates the last vowel sound.
Bold poor. Anyways, Brother Love's getting beat on, so Undertaker disqualifies himself, protecting him. But Undertaker's not the legal man. How can he be DQ'd? How can he be counted out?
Oh, he wasn't?
Nope, he's not.
Because they could do that later on with Victor Model Motel.
Where he doesn't get counted out. Yeah, or, you know what I mean? Like,
damn it.
So where's the internal consistency? Survivor Series 1990. Vince McMahon, I need you on the phone yesterday to tell me about why you messed up so bad. That's right, I caught it. I got you. You're in trouble now. So this is Survivor Series. They got it. There's 8 people in the ring, all right? So some of these people are getting beat by clotheslines and shit. And the next, Greg the Hammer Valentine's out now from a small package. only at Survivor Series, folks.
Yeah, small packages never work except at Survivor Series.
Yeah, and then here becomes Bees the best part of the match, possibly the best part of the show. It's just when it's Brett and Ted DiBiase
doing some
real wrestling. They're just I don't know, man. They can fucking go. There's we got Brett does his sternum turnbuckle spot that he always does, where he runs his chest into the turnbuckle. It's classic Brett for you there. Piper's really gassing him up. Like, oh, Brett's the best in the business. No one can beat DiBiase. He really knows how to wrestle. The excellence of execution. All that sort of stuff. And then Virgil interference. Backfire. Virgil out there looking like a candy cane. Oh, and then
WWE superstar Virgil.
Brett, he gets up to the second rope, which is Brett's rope.
Yeah. The Brett rope.
He goes to his rope and he does his Brett elbow drop. And you see he's got Canada boots on?
Yeah.
I was like, wow, there's Canada boots. And then only a Survivor Series. Brett does a crossbody, bringing DiBiase down, but the momentum carries him over for DiBiase to get the pin. Brett didn't seem that tired. Probably could kick out.
He was just so surprised. Like, wait, I thought I was on top.
Yeah. This is, in my opinion, probably the best match. And it's mostly just because of Brett and DiBiase. It's definitely not because of Honky Tonk Man or Greg the Hammer Valentine. And then, so Brett and DiBiase and then fucking Undertaker's there doing Undertaker shit. It's pretty cool. Dusty Rhodes is fun. Coco and Anvil they're there. They do some stuff. The $1 Million Team, they're all still alive. Every single
That's
one
what
of
the
them.
DiBiase money will do for you.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy that good healthcare.
Also, there are valets, Brother Love, Jimmy Hart, and Virgil. They're all still alive.
Even Brother Love?
That's right. Real quick, we got to talk about Honky Tonk Man. I was mentioning the shoot interviews that are on the internet. Fucking 80% of them got to be Honky Tonk Man. Talking shit about everyone.
I'll tell you right now, man.
Check this out. Honky Tonk Man, he lives in Gilbert, Arizona.
Oh, yeah, this surprised me because I remember when we first moved here, hearing that he was going to be at some like little indie show during Halloween. I'm like, why the fuck would he be doing that? I think he just lives out here.
Yeah, he lives out in Gilbert, Arizona. I just figured I'm gonna find out where he lives and stop by.
Oh shit, let's go. Let's get an interview.
Yeah, like, hey man, we do a podcast that once a year talks about wrestling.
Twice a year
from your era. Tell us more about Ric Flair and why he sucks. His whole thing is Ric Flair's been doing the same goddamn match for 25 years.
Yeah. Why would you do a different match when you get paid for the same match over and over again?
If it works, like, you know, why stick your neck out?
I mean, he's got a point. Every time I've seen Sting and Ric Flair wrestle a match, it is the same match. But I mean, everybody loves those beats.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he falls forward on his face. He like oversells the bouncing off his
He
head.
begs for forgiveness.
Yeah, whatever.
At one point, you know, he goes up to the top rope, but Sting catches him and Gorilla Press slams him. That's what you want.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they came to see. Flair, right? Give him the hits.
They didn't come to see stand-up comedy. They came to see rock and roll.
This match is almost the least dead. Because all the $1 Million Team still good, all the Valets still good. Brett and Coco still hanging in there. Dusty made it to 69, which is perfectly respectable age for a professional wrestler. And Anvil, he died at 63, which is also like not that bad. Because even like for a guy his size, you'd think he'd have like diabetes or heart problems or something. But that brings us to Belly Watch update. So Valentine and Dusty look like they just eat everyone else's leftovers. Honky Tonk has like that Southern cowboy beer body. So I think he's just drinking Lone Stars and smoking cigarettes, and they're probably all on juice a little bit, but
yeah,
like,
I mean, you're looking for the dudes who like juicing way too much.
Yeah,
like, these guys are cycling like normal,
and also like not working out that much and drinking and eating bad and stuff, you know. DiBiase looks like a big strong. He doesn't look like, he just looks like, you know, sometimes you see big older dudes that they just look big. They're just big. Anvil definitely on the juice though. That big belly that he doesn't ever get rid of. Sometimes he'll be super jacked and he still has that belly. And it's like, yeah, okay. Brett admitted he was taking steroids during that period, so I guess, you know, whatever. But just for fantasy's sake, he looks like a normal guy. Not a normal guy, but a guy that works out, you know.
Well, here's the thing. These guys don't necessarily look like huge dudes, but their schedule makes it so that it's almost impossible to work out consistently, I think.
Yeah.
So, like, to get the shape they're in, they have to be doing something.
Well, and another thing is, like Brett said, to be getting over injuries all the time.
Yeah.
It's fucking steroids, man. Just pop that shit in there. Coco looks pretty big in this one. Same thing, like his diet is probably not good. He doesn't work out as much, but he's big, real big. Undertaker always just kind of looks like the Undertaker, you know? He's definitely like,
he's a big guy.
Bigger, and his arms like look bigger and toner in his younger age as a young big ginger. But I don't know. But the truth is, there's videos of Undertaker like deadlifting like recently. I mean, towards the end of his career, he's just been consistently taking steroids for sure. There's no way like a 55-year-old guy is doing that naturally, you know? So, very juicy, very juicy. What do you got to say about that match? Did you enjoy it? Is there any exciting moves?
No, it was the Undertaker reveal, and just the way they sell him was really cool. And then DiBiase and Bret Hart is interesting, but like I don't know, like again, like the whole thing is it's disappointed with the entire Survivor Series.
Man, you just gotta get out there, completely suspend any belief in what wrestling can be, and be like, well, they got a giant egg.
The fucking highlight of the show is a goddamn giant egg.
Hell yeah, it is.
And the crowd doesn't care. So, whose idea was it? Did Vince McMahon just think that they were gonna push this fucking egg? What were they gonna do with the gobbledygooker after this? Is he gonna wrestle?
Yeah, man, he was gonna be a star.
Did he wrestle after this?
Oh no, they completely buried that shit once it didn't go over Survivor Series. They're like, man, we better act like this didn't happen. In fact, when I was watching on the network, I was like, man, I wonder if they're gonna edit it out because it really was received so badly.
I really feel like maybe they should just edit it out because it doesn't add anything. Well,
that gets us to match number 3. Luckily, there's only 6 matches, but it's still 2.5 hours. Could be worse. Could be like 4 hours. 4 hours. This is the Visionaries, which are Hercules and Paul Roma, the Power and Glory, Rick Martel, and the Warlord with Slick, versus the Vipers, but Damien's a Python, right?
Yeah, he's a Python.
Why are they the Vipers? That's Jake the Snake Roberts, Jimmy Superfly Snooker, Murderer, and Marty and Jannetty and Shawn Michaels, who are the Rockers, the Rocker Boys.
But not for much longer. They're very shortly not going to be the Rockers soon.
Think about another 2 years or so.
No, I thought it was a year.
It's like 92 or 93, 91. I don't know. It's coming around the corner. And to start us off, we got Mean Gene with the Vipers. And Jake, he just has the best promos of all time. He's like so cutting edge at the time to be the one guy that didn't yell. You know what I mean?
I was watching that with Court. I mean, that was her thing. Like, why are they all yelling?
Yeah.
It always reminds me of that Ren and Stimpy episode where it's like, remember when they become wrestlers and Ren does his little, or Stimpy does a promo. He is my friend. I will like him.
Yeah.
Man, the country is buzzing about the big one this Thursday night, the Thanksgiving tradition. I'm talking about the Survivor Series, the Ultimate Team, with team captain, World Wrestling Federation champion, the Ultimate Warrior, joined by the Intercontinental champion, of course, the Texas Tornado, along with the Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal. Gentlemen, this Thursday night, the perfect team, Mr. Perfect, and all three of Demolition.
That's right, Gene Oakland, the perfect team. They say they can do no wrong. Well, you better get your turkey dinner in early, boys, because on Turkey Day, you may be eating your turkey through a straw. A liquid diet is what you're going to consist of, because you can't chew turkey when we kick your teeth down your throat.
Yeah, no, Jake was just fucking next level by like talking
like a person.
Like a normal person, but like kind of quietly sinister.
And he had like an intensity. I remember Hulk Hogan reading Hulk Hogan's biography at one point and talking about how all the wrestlers were really just trying to copy Muhammad Ali.
Oh,
and just doing it poorly.
Yeah,
and except for Dusty Rhodes, I guess. But that's really how I feel about it. Like everybody's just kind of yelling Muhammad Ali's lines, except for Jake the Snake.
Man, they were all doing a piss poor job. How did you see that? Oh, and those young baby rockers, those youngsters, those little guys,
baby fat rockers,
those little guys.
Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels are again the two that obviously can wrestle.
Yeah, they carry the match. Surprisingly, though, fucking Warlord's got some gas, man. He's in there a lot for his big ass.
Well, you gotta remember, like they were. This should be Power and Glory, Warlord and Barbarian, right?
No, Power and Glory is...
Oh, no, Powers and Pain, that's it.
Yeah. Paul Roma and Hercules are Power and Glory. Powers of Pain is Barbarian and Warlord.
And I think the story is like Mr. Fuji sold the Warlord's contract to Slick, right? Mm-hmm. And he sold Barbarian's contract to Heenan?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Dang, Mr. Fuji.
Because he's like, I got the Demolition again. I don't need you shits.
Yeah, dang, Mr. Fuji, you racist stereotype. So the angle for this one is Rick the Model Martel and Jake Snake have been feuding a little bit. And recently, the model, Rick Martel, sprayed his cologne, Arrogance, into Jake Snake's face. And it blinded him. And that's why he's got that white contact in.
There was a line, he's like, you can't see out of that eye. And then I'm like, yeah, it's because Vince can't spring for the good contact.
Yeah, it's ruined. That probably would be pretty hard to wrestle with when you think about it. Yeah. Also, probably hard for Jake Snake to wrestle with those goddamn boats he has for feet. Did you see that shit? Like, he's really tall. He's like 6'6", so he's like taller than most everyone else in the match. But it's like he has like a 7-foot dude's feet on a 6'6" body.
Sometimes I feel like I know his pain.
his feet are so long. Piper even calls out because they do a camera shot of his foot on the rope while he's waiting to be tagged in. And Piper's like, God damn, look at those feet. They're so fucking long. But no, he's having trouble because he's blind, not because of his long feet.
This match fucking drags.
Anytime the Rockers aren't in, it's bad. And especially the end when
the middle is just the beginning with the Rockers is good, the middle is bad, and then I don't even remember the end.
Actually, no, I think there's a good pace to this match until the end, and when it's just Jake, and he just has to sell like crazy to the rest of the
other four. Yeah,
Piper mentions that Warlord has no fat except in that beam of his. Call him a fat head. But Warlord, as big as he is, he has body fat. He's like visibly body fat.
Yeah,
on top of his muscle, you know, it's like. Fucking once again, like power lifter, like he didn't get to the cutting phase. He just got big as fuck. So Piper's a liar. He's just trying to sell the Warlords. It doesn't matter because the Warlords in there just throwing everyone around. I can't believe he straight up was doing most of the work for that team. I was like, wow, he can really fucking go. But I bet he was like 24 at the time, and the rest of his team is a little bit older, you know?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. He's been around at least as long as Hercules, it seems like.
Maybe in the
Because I remember
WWF.
him. I remember the Powers of Pain in like that crazy like 16-man tag with like the British Bulldogs and Demolition when they still had Mr. Fuji.
I mean, that's still only got to be the 90s, though.
No, that's like 87, I think.
No, because Demolition doesn't exist until 89 or 90.
Are you sure?
Yeah, they actually Demolition wasn't around for very long. Maybe 88. Jimmy Snuka, he gets punched in the head, and it hurts the other guy's hand because he's Samoan,
because he's racist
and he's a murderer. Yeah, my note here is like, oh, he's got a strong head like a Samoan. It turns out Snuka's he's from Fiji. He's a Fijian. So, racism.
My note says Jimmy Snuka, built to kill.
Man, he looks like he can fucking kill God. Like, let alone any other human being. Like, goddamn, he looks insane.
Yeah,
I don't remember him looking like that.
A stack of muscles.
I could not believe. I was like, holy shit. Like, the fucking strip of Ultimate Warrior with the belt, put it on this guy. Or he'll kill you. Yeah, so the Jannetty versus Warlord stuff in the beginning is really fun. I like where he's just like, I gotta outmaneuver him. But since this is Vince McMahon's wrestling, big tough guy win.
Big tough guy always wins.
He's like, yeah, get that meaty boy out there.
Oh, yeah, maybe put that belt on that meaty boy.
Yeah, so he gets rid of Marty Jannetty. I'm guessing Marty Jannetty was tired from all the drugs. Well, I mean, Shawn Michaels. I was going to say Sean McDonald. That's you. They were known for like partying and missing shows and stuff. So they were probably both like hungover as shit. Shawn Michaels is in the middle of the match. Like it's basically it's Big Sean show. After Marty's gone, Snake comes in. He calls for the DDT. Doesn't get it done. And then he texts Sean. And the crowd is like fucking pop. They pop.
Yeah, they're like, DDT him! Smash his face in!
And it doesn't happen. It's like, they should have fucking done it. Like, what were they thinking?
Jake is so over at this point.
Yeah. Well, he's the coolest man. He has a snake. He doesn't yell at you during his promos. He looks like your uncle. You know?
I said this last time we watched this, but he's built like that.
Yeah. He's just a tall guy that's kind of strong. So this Sean comes in and man, he does some of those classic Big Sean sells, like going over the turnbuckle.
Yeah, the thing that's gonna destroy his back later on.
Well, no, it's like apparently that casket match where he falls on the casket.
Oh, is that what does it?
Yeah, but I'm sure that other shit didn't help. It was similar to Flair, where like, oh, you get a clothesline and you like tombstone yourself and like bounce off of your head backwards and shit, like cartoony stuff. It's good though. It's like, oh yeah, Sean's gonna be a star. He's like, I get it. I see it. Martel comes in. The whole match that he's been running from Jake. Anytime Jake comes in, he's like on his knees running, which is good. That's like some good like heel work. But he comes in to do battle with Snuka, and once again he gets Snuka out with like a small package again. But Gorilla Monsoon's like, he hooked the trunks because he's like holding on to his jocks, but. It was more like he hooked his butthole.
Rick the Model Hotel is like really big into Turkish oil wrestling. That's what he really wanted to do.
Yeah. He was like all in it. Like I don't know if it was his intention, but like, damn, he hooked that butthole. He's like, I can get some leverage with his butthole.
I'm gonna get your Snuka.
Ooh. Piper says, it's getting so hot in here. I gotta take my jacket off. It's Sean's back in doing fun stuff. That's why Piper's got to take his jacket off. Shawn Michaels so spicy. The powers, Power and Glory, they're gonna do the special move, the Powerplex, right?
Yeah.
So Warlord's got Sean up in the air, holding him for a long time, that's like some fake wrestling shit, you know?
Yeah, because like, all Sean has to do is kick his legs.
But it's like, wow, look how strong he is. Then Roma's up on the turnbuckle, and they do this low angle shot where you can just see like Roma's butt cheeks are just really eating his jocks.
You spent a lot of time staring at these guys' asses. I did not spend as much time.
When I watch wrestling, I'm like in there checking out their bodies for sure.
When I watch wrestling, I really their bodies, but I wasn't checking to see wedgie factor.
I don't know how you missed it, honestly. There's this shot and then one towards the end where it's like, what are they doing?
His ass is hungry.
It's like so much butt cheeks. It's like almost like he's wearing a thong.
And then it's Jake down by himself.
Yep, he gets a DT on the Warlord though. He bonks him on his fat bean. So he gets he doesn't get Warlord out. He doesn't get any of them out. That's like the thing, is all the heals pass on. But he does DDT him. But then he gets the snake out, and Martel starts running, and Jake's like, I'm gonna chase you with my snake.
Here's the thing, I've never thought about this as a child, but every time I watch wrestling now and Jake the Snake is doing shit with his snake, how does his snake never get hurt? At this point, he rolls out of the ring and the snake is underneath him. I know that snake got crushed.
I'm sure they just weren't too worried about it.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I like when he's running after Martel and you can see Damien's like all wrapped around his leg and he's having trouble running.
Because Damien's like, fuck this shit.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not going to get crushed again. Stupid ass.
At one point, Damien gets retired because I know he gets a Cobra.
I think the Cobra comes in just for a little bit for that angle where it bites Macho. And then he gets another python. Or no, maybe he does too many drugs and doesn't wrestle anymore.
He sells Damien for crack.
Yeah. I don't think the snakes were ever actually his. When he talks about it, it sounds like there was like a snake guy that
really
brought the snakes. Yeah,
no, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. So here Jake gets counted out, but Martel doesn't because he's not the legal man. But Taker got counted out when he wasn't the legal man. This is a farce.
There's no consistency here. Let me see the rule books.
Yeah, right.
Give me Jack Tunney. Isn't he still a commissioner at this point?
Oh yes, he'll come up later.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, it's just, it seems like is wrestling. I thought
it seems like it might be fake.
Yeah, this seems like it might not be real. They don't have consistency in the rules. And then my verdict is I think it's a pretty good match until the Rockers are gone. Then who cares? And Jake's just like, I'm gonna get you.
Did the Rockers ever win the tag title?
They don't actually.
They won it for like a day, right?
No, technically they did win it. But it was at a TV taping. During the match, the top rope of the ring collapses. So Vince never wanted to air that episode because of that mistake. And he said, don't worry about it. We'll get you the titles another time. And then they never did. So technically,
classic Vince.
So technically they won the titles, but they didn't really because it never made
It's weird because they were maybe my favorite tag team as a kid. Them and Demolition I really liked.
Yeah, I like the Rockers and...
You're really a fan of the Orient Express.
Legion of Doom. Orient Express is alright.
No, they're not. Shut up.
Oh. They had so many good tag teams back then.
Yeah, it was the late 80s, early 90s, really a good time for tags. The Bushwhackers, they're fun.
Yeah, Bushwhackers. They'll be here later, licking on kids and stuff. Weird. I was watching a
go up there, little Billy, get licked by the Bushwhacker.
I watched like a biography of the Bushwhackers, like how they got started and stuff. When they were wrestling in Australia and New Zealand back before they went to WWF, they were like known as like being like ultra violent, like scary dudes.
Oh really?
Yeah, and then when they brought them to WWF,
they're cute.
Like, act like dummies and lick kids and stuff. I don't know. Here's who's dead? Hercules made it to 47.
Oh, that's not a good age at all.
No. Also, he goes by Hercules Hernandez in wrestling. His real name is just Hercules Fernandez. Why didn't he just do that?
He likes the alliteration.
Oh, okay. I guess he wanted to sound like a Marvel character created by Stan Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Jimmy Snuka, he made it to 73 and then died purposely to avoid being convicted of murdering Nancy Argentina. He did it on purpose. He purposely died. So the thing with Jimmy Snuka is he definitely murdered his girlfriend in a hotel room in late 80s, early 90s, I think, while he was working WWF.
And Vince just kind of helped him
Vince,
paper over it.
Yeah, helped get it kind of covered up. It came back up again relatively recently, like in the last 10 years, that he was going to be on trial again for it. But unfortunately, he had like stomach cancer, some old man bullshit. And they're like, oh, he's not fit to stand trial, so he didn't ever go to trial, and then he died because he's a pussy.
You say that to 1990 Jimmy Snuka's face.
I won't, because he'll murder me like Nancy Argentina.
I don't know. He may not be able to murder you outright. You're a pretty big guy.
Yeah,
I mean, he'd definitely be able to beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, I could like fight off the murder part probably. I could prevent the murder, but I'll be hospitalized. Belly watch. I did everyone but Jake probably.
And he's definitely Jake too.
Definitely Jake too, because he was doing every other drug. Why wouldn't he also be like, yeah, whatever, steroids? I saw an interview with him one time where he was talking. He was out for a while with the neck injury, which he blames on Honky Tonk Man when he hit him with that supposed to be gimmick guitar, but like they fucked up. When you watch it, it's on Piper's Pit, and when he hits him with it, it's like, oh.
Yeah, but is that Honky Tonk's fault or is that like Prop's fault?
It's not really. It's not anyone's. Well, it's someone
in Prop
fault, but it's like just the accident. But he was out for a while getting like neck surgery or something, and he's talking. When he came back in, like he'd been working out a lot and shit, and so he came back in like actually kind of jacked. And this man's like, "What are you doing? You Jake the Snake, not Hulk Hogan." Sent him home for a couple months, and Jake's like, "Yeah, I just drank and did cocaine." So yeah,
that's the fucking best time of my life.
Yeah, and then like some other interview I saw was someone else talking about Jake, where they asked Brett, like who had like the weirdest like ritual to get ready for a match, and he's just like, I don't know about the weirdest, but Jake used to just like come out and he'd put Damien in the sack like on top of a trash can or whatever. He'd smoke a cigarette and walk back and forth, put it out on his boot, pick up Damien, and then walk out to the match. Now we got the Royal Rumble advertisement.
Oh yeah, constantly with the
Royal Rumble.
It's 3 months away, guys.
Come sign up for it now and get exclusive content or something. Oh no, that's video games. Wrestling. We finally get to see Piper and Gorilla on camera.
No, they're at the very beginning.
Yeah, I guess I missed it because I was like, "Whoa, Piper's looking classy." You see his watching shit. I was like, "Man, he's man about town." This is his move around his movie.
He's in his fancy dress kilt too.
Yeah, he's like, "Ooh, fancy times." Oh, he says real men wear kilts at one point in this special pay-per-view. Oh, this is where Sean Mooney shows up. He shows up.
Oh yeah, he's interviewing the Hulkamaniacs.
He gets yelled at by the Hulkster who keeps calling him little dude.
Because the Hulk Hogan's not going to be asked to remember anybody's name but Mean Gene.
Mm-hmm. That's like later on he'll call Tito the Arriva Man. That's so good.
Hey, do you notice that Jim Duggan had like the yellow ribbons on his 2x4?
Yeah, for the troops.
Yeah, doesn't that technically mean bring the troops home though? That's what isn't it like a more of subversive?
Subversive?
Subversive, that's what I was looking for. Subversive
No, I thought the yellow ribbon was just supporting troops.
I'm pretty sure it was. I specifically remember, at least during Desert Storm, remember it being bring the troops home. Because I remember Mom talking about it at one point.
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember Desert Storm very well. Should have done some research.
I guess I can ask after we're done with this,
right? Speaking of which, though, we're gonna cruise harder than the battleship Missouri. USA, go imperialism. This match is dedicated to the troops. USA. Hulkster offers to sign up for the army like Hemingway, but they don't ever send him.
Like Hemingway.
Why didn't the fuck Hemingway just went over there himself? Because he was real, man, not like this Hulkamaniac, this Hulkster, this egomaniac, this piece of shit, talking shit about, I'll join the army and go over there.
You know it's all bullshit.
I'll beat the cheeks off of Saddam. I'll get him. I'll get him big time. Oh, yeah?
It was more like John Wayne bullshit.
Yeah. Fucking Hulkster. Yeah, and then he just, whatever, I'm the best. Here's my friends, because it's a team of his friends. Hogan's always just helping his friends out in wrestling. Which I guess...
That's all wrestling.
That's commendable to a certain extent, but, like, I don't know. Hogan just seems to suck. Well, and speaking of his friends, it's the Hulkamaniacs. Big Boss Man, Hulk Hogan, Jim Duggan, and Tugboat.
Versus the Natural Disasters.
Natural Disasters fucking rule. It's the Barbarian, Dino Bravo, Earthquake, and Haku. With Bobby Heenan and Jimmy Hart.
Natural Disasters will later go on to be the tag team name for Earthquake and Tugboat.
Well, yeah, he's Typhoon then, though, right?
Yeah, he's Typhoon. I legitimately think that Earthquake could just kick the shit out of everybody in this match.
He is so fucking strong. I do not...
And he moves way too well for how big he is.
Yeah. Well, he's... Until The Undertaker came, I think he's like the biggest dude in WWF. Because he's like 6'7", 6'8". And yeah, he can move around. And yeah, he's a fat guy, but like... at one point in this movie, he straight up like catches...
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he like straight up catches someone off the top rope.
No, it's
like,
Big Boss Man.
Yeah, Big Boss Man, who's like 300
holy shit!
Pounds. No problem. He's like, cool. All right, here we go. I was like, holy shit! What can this man not do? And then while we're talking about who's dangerous in wrestling, we'll talk about Haku, also known as Ming. if you watch these shoot interviews, or any backstage, any of the books people written, anytime Ming's mentioned, this dude sounds like he's the most dangerous man who ever lived. People talk about him like getting in bar fights against like 6 dudes, like taking guys' eyes out, pulling people's like jaws off. And they're like, he's like the strongest dude that's ever walked the planet. He's like a nice guy and stuff, but like, you know.
Yeah, don't push them off. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
when you get into shit, he's really dangerous.
So, choosing your drinking buddies, Haku, not Shawn Michaels.
Not Shawn Michaels. Maybe I would say Earthquake, Big John Tenta, except for he's a family man, didn't really drink or party or anything. So Haku Ming, by the way, he's Tongan. He's not part of the Ananui family. A lot of people seem to think he's part of the, the Ananui dynasty that's got all the wrestlers. Nope, not Ming. He's Tongan. In this case, Haku replaced Rick Rude, who had left the WWF over a pay dispute.
To go be champion in WCW, I think.
Yep. In speaking of Jack Tunney, the kayfabe reason he doesn't appear is because he was suspended by the WWF president, Jack Tunney, for insulting the mother of Big Boss Man. Scandalous.
Oh no, Big Boss Man's mama.
Yep, you can't talk that shit in the promos, man. You get suspended. This sucks because they played Tugboat's theme, Duggan's theme, Boss Man's theme, and the Hulkster's theme. I don't know why they play every single fucking one of them.
I think it's because the Hulkster wanted his, right? And they're like, just kill him off.
Tugboat is toot
Yeah,
toot.
it makes no sense.
Some more We Love Our Troops USA shit with the ribbons and, we're doing it for the troops. And then when it comes crashing down and it hurts your side. I was thinking about cutting the actual song into this part right here, but we're just gonna sing it.
When you hurt my friends, you hurt my pride.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'm a real American.
Fight for the rights of every man. I don't know.
Except Mexicans. That's right. So, do you notice Hulk Hogan, I believe this is around when he's filming movies and stuff.
Yeah.
He's noticeably smaller. I don't think he's rocking the 24-inch python.
20 python.
There's actually a good juxtapositional shot where they show a kid in the crowd who's got a poster where like a fan sign. Where
like an 88 Hogan.
Yeah, where he's got a picture of like 88 Hogan on it where he's fucking huge, and then it goes to Hogan and you're like, a little bit smaller, huh? Huh. Trying to avoid them steroids for the movie business, huh? What? This match fucking sucks. It's just too many big hosses.
Yeah.
Those big hoss moves. Haiku's gone.
I mean, Tugboat, not a good wrestler.
Duggan, not a good wrestler.
No, he's just a fun dude.
Yeah, Hulk, not a good wrestler.
Big Bossman can fucking move for a big guy.
Yeah, he's also looking pretty fit in this match.
Yeah.
Probably the best he ever looked, which is, I mean, he's still a big fat guy, but it's the best he looked. The heels, of course, all are good wrestlers, but you can only do so much with who you're wrestling. Actually, I don't know for sure about Dino Bravo. I would assume because he is a long-time heel, he's probably a good wrestler because usually the heels are the dudes that do the work. Barbarian has a problem too where he just kind of does big guy moves, but what are you going to do when you're a big guy? You can't move that much.
Unless you're a fucking Earthquake.
Yeah, he's just blessed though.
He was also a sumo wrestler, right?
Yeah. Duggan gets DQ'd because he's swinging 2x4 at everybody. I like that he doesn't get DQ'd until he swings at the ref, though. And the ref's like, all right, that's a step too far.
I just like he doesn't give a shit. He's like, this didn't work out for me. I'm going to hit him with a goddamn 2x4.
And then he acts like confused. That's why he's being disqualified. He's like, what? Me? Hulkster comes in.
He's fucking typical Irish.
Yeah, what? This is probably drunk at the time. Hulkster comes in and he does strong guy stuff. He slams the big fella. He's like, take this, Earthquake.
Here's my note. Holy shit, catching Big Boss Man.
Yeah, that's great. Mine is, whoa, Tenta is strong. Bye, Cracker Boss. Hulkster gets Dino out with a small package. So Dino is
a lot of small packages.
Gano. Yeah, this Survivor Series is like, we got him with a really good right hand. He's out. It's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so highlight of the match, fucking Earthquake catching Big Boss Man. I was like, man, I can't wait for a big man to catch me like that. Send me to heaven. Tugboat and Tenta Earthquake are outside fighting. And I was like, hey, this is the first time like the legal participants have gone to the outside. And I was like, that's pretty amazing, because I was thinking about it in modern wrestling.
That's all.
But I was like, oh wait, never mind. This is like when people stay in the ring. But yeah, because now it's like get to the outside as quick as possible so you can take a break. And then next up, Barbarian botches pile driver on Hogan, right, where he's like he sits him on his like dick / belly, and then Piper and Monsoon like scramble to try to sell it. And like, well, Piper's like, oh, we kind of messed that one up, and then Girl Monsoon's like, yeah, I mean, still hurt his shoulders, a shock from that one.
They probably have Vince in the ear going, no, don't tell him that, you fucking idiots.
This is where Piper says real men wear kilts.
This fucking match is boring as shit.
What do you mean the Hulkster hulks up? Just as you'd expect. Big boot, leg drop, pins Barbarian, and then he celebrates for about a fucking decade.
Why the fuck did he do it? I fucking hate that.
Well,
it's bad enough when he does it in the main event, but why is he fucking doing it here?
It's worse in the main event. But
no, at least it kind of makes sense in the main event.
Well, it's fucking Ultimate Warrior's moment, though.
no, I mean, like, I mean, generally, when he's in the main event, you know what I mean?
Oh, well, the reason he does it in this match, for sure,
it's because he's not the champion.
Is because he knows the main event is going to be more about the Ultimate Warrior. So he's like, well, fucking, I need the spotlight. Vince, you need to give me 10 minutes to strut around. Because he's got to make sure it's about Hogan,
I'm busy filming Urban Commando, but the people need to know that I'll be back for that belt.
I'm coming back. You're going to give it to Bret Hart? I don't think so. Belly watch.
Everyone.
Fucking all kinds of juicy boys in this one. I was like, maybe Earthquake and Tugboat just stay natural, big, strong. But probably not. The same thing. If you're going to get hurt, you may as well do steroids, right?
Yeah.
Death Watch. Big Boss Man, dead at 41. Rest in piss. Dino Bravo, dead at 44. Rest in peace. Big John Tenta, 42. Super rest in peace. He seems like he's a really nice guy. His son posts on the Squared Circle subreddit, and then sometimes he'll like, oh, here's some pictures I found of my dad hanging out, and blah, blah, blah. It's pretty cool to just see, like, oh, he's a regular ass guy. And strong as fuck. But we must talk about Dino Bravo's death, because it is insane. No. I mean, it sucks because it's him dying, but you're going to be like, what? Dino Bravo. On March 10th, 1993, Bresciano, which is Dino Bravo's real name, Bresciano, was found shot dead. He was hit by 17 bullets, 7 to the head and 10 to the torso while watching hockey in his Vimont, Laval, Quebec home. Are you ready? You ready for this?
You got a Canadian mob hit?
His alleged role in illegal cigarette smuggling in Canada is popularly believed to have led to this unsolved homicide.
Cigarette smuggling?
Colleague Rick Martel has said that because of Bresciano's notoriety from being a popular professional wrestler, he was able to attract many customers, thus crossing the mafia. According to former opponent Bret Hart, Bresciano confided to friends shortly before his death that he knew his days were numbered. He was a nephew by marriage of Montreal crime boss Vic Cotroni, and was believed by authorities to be involved in his organization for some time. Holy shit, Dino Bravo was in like the
fucking Canadian mob.
Yeah, fucking French, Italian, Canadian mob selling illegal cigarettes. I don't know how you make a profit off them, especially back then when they cost like $2. And he got killed for it. Can you believe that shit?
Fucking no. That's a goddamn movie. I want to run a movie about a professional wrestler selling Lucy's on the side.
Yeah, that's crazy.
For the Canadian mob.
When Darren Aronofsky, when he made The Wrestler, this should have been the story. What were you doing, man? But, enough about that. We have a real somber moment here as the Macho King has arrived. Holy shit.
The special one. Mr. Rogers.
You notice he's very up on, he's the special one.
Yeah, well, he's also calling everyone a turkey.
It's Thanksgiving turkey time.
Ultimate chicken, he's a turkey. Yeah, brother.
Yeah, Hogan, you be a man, Hogan. Oh, you can't be a man like me. I'm the macho man, the macho man king.
How did he get the king title? Did he beat the Harley race?
He beat someone else.
Or did he beat the
King of the Ring or something? I don't know. Okay. There's a reason. There's a kayfabe in story reason for it, but He just comes out looking like a candy cane too.
I don't even have a team. I'm just here so you remember.
Well, he's there to come out and be like, "Hey, I want that belt. I'm gonna be having that." You haven't
Turns
seen me
out,
in a
no.
while. But I want that belt. Yeah, he's like, "Give me your title, your turkey, your ultimate chicken, your turkey." Yeah. I like when he comes out. Mean Gene's basically like, "Oh, you had a good Thanksgiving. I know you ate a bunch of shit because you're an eye-tie." He's like, "I know you're out there eating the turkey and the green beans." Just talking about how much shit Macho Man was eating. He's like, Jesus. Also, Macho King apparently is a heel at this point.
Yeah.
Because the people are booing him. I do not ever once in my life ever
remember booing. You never not liked the Macho King, but you loved him even when he was the Macho King. You even had that. I remember you had the little Macho King action figure.
Hell yeah, I don't care, man.
He came with a little crown, a little scepter.
Oh yeah, and he had a cape.
You got to remember though, this is the lead up to like WrestleMania 7, which is the Macho Man retirement match with Ultimate Warrior.
Oh,
remember when Miss Elizabeth comes out of the crowd and shit?
But yeah, fucking, I was just like, what? There's people booing the Macho Man. Don't they understand?
Why are they not bowing to their king?
He's the king now. What the hell? Finally, though, we made it to match number 5. I think there's another Royal Rumble promo, but we're at match 5.
This shit.
This is a piss break match. In which I literally took advantage of. I kept this shit playing. Went and took a piss. Went outside to smoke. Came back in. Was like, oh, it's still happening, huh?
I literally only have one note for this match. The brave Iraqi nation. So stupid.
So to get us started, Sergeant Slaughter comes out to do a promo that's way too long. And the entire time,
can I do a Slaughter voice? I don't know if I can.
Itty bitty ditty.
That's from G.I. Joe the movie.
yeah, that's him. That's him though. There you go.
That's the funny thing to me. Like at the same time, like he was appearing on G.I. Joe as like a good guy. He's like,
I love Iraq.
My problem with this promo is first it's Sergeant Slaughter, who really is his gimmick was good, but he apparently can't talk. And then his theme music, that drum roll shit, just keeps going. I was like losing my mind. That's probably why I had to go take a break. So we got the Alliance here. Presumably they're fighting for America or something, right? They're all USA chants and stuff. We got Butch and Luke, the bushwhackers who are from New Zealand. We've got Nikolai Volkov, who is from Yugoslavia, but kayfabe, he's from Russia.
nah.
And then Tito Santana, who is from Dallas, Texas, but kayfabe, he's Mexican. Just Mexican.
I mean, technically you can be from Dallas, Texas and be Mexican.
Which he is. But that's not what they were going with. Alright, so Mercenaries, Boris Zukov, Sergeant Slaughter, Saito, and Tanaka with Mr. Fuji and General Adnan. General Adnan, real name, Adnan bin Abdul Karina Ahmed Al-Qaisi El-Farith.
What the fuck?
He's a 70s wrestler. According to his autobiography, he came from a fairly distinguished family, with the father being an imam.
Oh,
one of his high school classmates, Saddam Hussein. Yeah. According to his autobiography.
I like to think he's like, so, Mr. Slaughter, let me tell you.
Sergeant Slaughter, who was then portrayed as an Iraqi sympathizer or insulted servicemen stationed in Iraq before
I had candy corn with no sand in it.
Yep. Oh, boo.
I ate a whole ham when there was no nuggets of poop.
Boris Zukov, he replaced Akeem, who had left the WWF in October. Akeem.
Oh, yeah, Akeem.
The African Dream.
The African Dream.
Which is,
the white dude?
Yeah, who was getting back to his African roots, which is weird enough. But it's an interesting thing about they were going to have the evil foreigners, and they're
all white guys.
Well, they were going to have the guy that just wanted to represent Africa. Like, just Africa default bad. Which I think it probably worked out better for him that he wasn't in it, because they'd been like, wait, what? Why? Because he was not even a heel at the time. Yeah, so there's 0 kayfabe Americans fighting for America. And then on the foreigner side, we got Boris Zukov, who's from Virginia. And then Mr. Fuji and Pat Tanaka are from Honolulu. Oh, obviously of Japanese descent, but they're Hawaiian. Did you notice important thing here? There's an outside ref in this match. Did you notice who it is? My God, it's Shane O'Mac.
Is it really?
Shane
I know.
McMahon, little baby Shane. He's got to only be like 18 years old. It's little baby Shane.
I'm surprised he didn't jump in the ring and take a couple of bumps.
Yeah, he wasn't ready for it. He's like, come on, Dad, let me drop off that 30-foot tower.
That'll be next week, son.
There was a highlight. My favorite move in this match is Tito goes to do like a running sort of jump at Sergeant Slaughter, and it looks like he just like thrusts him out with his belly.
Tito's got like
Belly
some
bump.
crazy forearm move he just does on everybody.
Tito's got a lot of energy. What was his name? Remember him and Martel were a tag team. Do you remember what they're called?
Something Express? Is that right?
Yeah, I think you might be right.
I can't remember what the first word is though.
Yeah. Martel was also in another tag team called the Can-Am Connection. But then he's in a tag team with Tito. And they're
I remember their
called
fucking weird ass. Well, it was like, or was it something Force?
Strike Force?
Strike Force.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, brain.
Which like neither of them had individual gimmicks or a tag team gimmick. They're just like, we can wrestle.
Rick Martel actually, you know, the model, that's kind of a cool gimmick. But Tito
I don't
never
know,
really,
the model's really good.
Tito never really got like a true personality.
Nah, he's the Ariba, man.
The Ariba man.
The model gimmick was really good. I remember thinking he'd suck because I also was like a mark for Jake the Snake.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh damn that model. But that's a really good heel character. You know, he's so French Canadian. He barely spoke English when he started working like in WWF.
No, the model.
Yeah, you can still kind of hear it in his accent.
Yeah, you can. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is a bad match. A lot of USA chants. Sergeant Slaughter is like so gassed at the end. I'm like worried.
Like he's like, I feel like he's done wrestling at this point. That was my recollection of Sergeant Slaughter.
He should be done. I was scared. I know he lives, but man, oof.
He goes on to become commissioner of the WWE. They get over the fact that he was an Iraqi sympathizer. I don't remember how he does that, but somehow he comes back from that.
Yeah, in the midst of the second war, right? So Tito wins by DQ because they use the Iraqi flag as a weapon. The in-ring ref doesn't notice because he's taking a ref bump.
But Shane O'Mac,
he caught it. Good job, Shane. So technically USA does win because Tito's from Texas. Great job, Tito. There's a really terrible line that Piper says where General Anand covers his face. And he says, hide your head in shame. That's how your women do it.
Oh, yeah.
Belly watch, pretty simple this time. I said, I don't know. Tito and Shane O'Mac probably. And then this is the least haunted of the matches with only Nikolai Volkov being dead. And he made it to 70.
I think he just died of old age.
Probably like a heart problem, but you know.
Nikolai Volkov is one of those dudes that was just always around in the WWE.
Such a long time, too. Like the 80s, the 90s, 70s.
I'm pretty sure he was in a Royal Rumble in like 2004.
I think he was actually when they do the Legends Rumble. We go back to the heels. They're back in their kayfabe gear. Did you notice that? Like, Model's got all his...
Yeah,
he's got all his
fucking $1 million man is sweating fucking bullets in
yeah,
his suit.
he is sweating so much. This Martel's chopping it up. He's the first one to speak, and he's like, "How you like my Quebecois? This is how I talk."
This is when I'll start pointing out like they should start building up the main event coming up for Saturday night or Sunday night main event.
They do right after the promo.
You know, but I mean, like they should have $1 Million Man. Like I paid all these motherfuckers to go after the Ultimate Warrior. He's gonna be so beat up, he might not even make it to Sunday.
Damn, you should have been booking for the WWF.
I know I should have. I got another one in the actual final too, but it's more related to the same thing.
DiBiase fucking kills in this promo though.
He kills in all of the promos. Remember when he kicked that basketball away from that kid?
Yeah. I found out recently though that they the kid wasn't a plant exactly, but like he knew the score and like he actually got the money anyways.
Oh yeah, I always heard that too.
Which is like nice, but it's I don't know. It's just funny to think about that little kid just having wrestling ruined for him. So the main event tomorrow night, DiBiase versus Warrior. That absolutely would have been great if they were like, yeah, we're just gonna cripple the Warrior. And Then they keep,
and then it would actually build up
then,
to make
like,
people want to watch the main
yeah,
event.
and then-
Yeah, I know, Kyle. I'm great at booking.
and then it'd have to be like Hogan and Tito trying their best to like help the Warrior.
Right, it actually makes
Yeah.
sense in the story in the finale. But whatever.
Man.
Why do you need anything? They had it all there too. Like he's in the main event with Ultimate Warrior in the next fucking night.
Yeah, man, it was all there. Shit, fucking idiots. Damn Vince McMahon. He's probably like, DiBiase doesn't have enough man meat. Except for DiBiase looks like he's big, like tall.
He's a tall dude. I
Yeah.
mean, most wrestlers are.
I mean, you think they are, but like, Hulk Hogan didn't look much taller than like. That's the thing is, I don't believe he's like 6'4", 6'5".
You don't think so?
Nah, because he doesn't look much taller. He was standing next to someone that I know for a fact is like barely 6 feet. I can't remember who it was.
I mean, they do inflate their
And like
their
wasn't
heights
much
and
taller.
weights and shit. for-
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like Barbarian's like 320 pounds. And then the Hogan's, he's only 250. No, he's not. He's like 300 pounds too if the Barbarian's 320. Oh shit, guess what? Before we get to the main event, guess what?
Gobbledygooker?
We gotta check on that egg. That Brontosaurus Rex egg.
No, we already talked about it enough at the opening. I can't believe they asked Mean Gene to fucking sell this fucking turkey.
Boom, the egg's popping open. The guy inside struggling. Fucking washed. There's no pop. Everyone just starts booing.
Yeah, and then it's even booing would actually be a little bit better because there would be like some.
So
reaction.
there's stunned silence.
There's
at
like,
first,
what the fuck
Huh?
are we looking at?
Huh? What? There's a kid in the audience that they cut to when they're dancing in the ring, who he's like, come on, get down. It's like, you fucking plant. I know they paid you.
They really have to search the audience because every time they cut the audience, they find like the one person that's like clapping and cheering, and
Yeah.
everybody else around them is like,
what?
what? Oh God,
Oh.
we could have been home.
They get down. Him and Mean Gene get down to like the 90s club remix of Turkey in the Straw.
Dun, 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 dun.
Who is the gobbledygooker? Who's in that suit, you think?
Probably someone that doesn't deserve it. Probably Vince McMahon's friends. Let's say Pat. What were those two old men names?
Pat Patterson and Don Briscoe.
Don Briscoe. Yeah, one of those two assholes.
Was it Don? Something Briscoe.
Yeah. Was it one of them?
No, it was Hector Guerrero.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's way worse.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, that's really bad. Yep, that's Eddie's older brother, a very famous Mexican wrestler in his own right.
Who doesn't ever really wrestle for the WWE.
Nope. Hey, man, you want a paycheck?
Holy shit.
I'm sure they promised him, like, hey,
we're all going to give you a role.
an actual run. You're like, you'll get to do something, blah, blah. You just got to do this for us.
Oh, my
But,
God.
I'm sure he just got hustled into it. Vince McMahon's
Poor
probably
Hector.
like, Hector, there's an S on your chest for sucker. There's an H on my chest for hustler. He's like, yeah.
Now I'm going to go spend all my money on football.
No, though, he does the World Bodybuilding Federation first. That's how he's able to bring Luger in without breaking the WCW contract. Hulkster says, me and the Ariba, man. I don't know. I don't know anything else he said after that because I was just
I laugh after
I
that.
lost it. Yeah, me and the Ariba, man. It's like, what?
Yo, brother, what out there?
They were all also they're all slapping each other a lot too. Like, oh yeah,
Yeah, I'm playing grab ass.
Yeah. That's it. It's the main event. Ooh, Survivors versus the Heels. It's this is what you all been waiting for, I think. Or were we waiting for the egg?
I think everybody turned off after the egg.
I mean, the egg and this were both pretty big letdowns. So it's Hulk Hogan, Tito Santana, and Ultimate Warrior. They're going to fight Hercules, Paul Roma, Rick Martel, Ted DiBiase, and the Warlord. So all of the Visionaries and Moon Dog Man. The odds are stacked against them.
3-5.
5 against 3. I think they should have fucking really gone for it. Like, Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior against, like, 10 dudes.
Oh, maybe Slaughter should have survived instead of Tito.
Yeah, he'd have to spend a lot
Because
of
that
time.
actually builds up a little bit for, like, WrestleMania 7, I guess.
Yeah, he would have had to spend a lot of time on the ropes, though, catching his breath.
Well, he just spends a lot of time outside.
Yeah. Hercules is really pasty.
Well,
He's got his skin looks like my skin, which is like kind of milky. So the intros, like, because they all walk out to their music again and shit, they're done around 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 10 seconds. I was watching the clock at this point, and I was like, all right, cool. Luckily, you can only go about 10 more minutes.
Did you notice that that Slick reaches over and gives Virgil a high five at the beginning of the match?
No, I didn't. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Warlord's out super quick. Tito body splashes him. That was enough. So good thing they brought in that big boy. Tito's out then real quick. Hercules, we get another great low angle shot. This time, power is to complete the power and glory booty shots. Now it's Hercules with his jocks all on his ass.
This I did notice.
Yeah. There's my guess is there's something with their trunks that they're
specifically their cut of trunks too.
Yeah, they're like really getting in there. Yeah, great shot, just good stuff, really good stuff. Hulkster gets Roma, does a hot tag. Warrior does his 3 moves. Hulkster does his 2 moves. Martel says fuck it, and he's like, man, Hogan's just got way too much leverage in the company. I can't do this. And he leaves.
Yeah, my thing with this match is I would have flipped basically the way Hogan and Warrior entered. I would have had Warrior be the one that's like getting the shit kicked out of him again because it builds up the main event. Mm-hmm. Hogan comes in for the rescue, and then Warrior comes in for the rescue to finish off the match after that.
Yeah, that'd be better.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
I am a better booker than Vince McMahon.
Hindsight's 2020. As this is going on, if you notice in the background, it looks like Hercules is trying to call timeout. Like he's doing the T hand sign. I'm like, what? Why is he doing that? No resolution to it. I just swear I saw him in the background trying to call for timeout. I was like, what?
He had a stroke. I forgot where he was.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I used to play basketball. Hulk does his 2 moves and pins DiBiase. Warrior does a couple moves. Hulk jumps in to steal the limelight and helps with the count. You see that? He's
yeah,
like, I got to be here too. Makes everything about him in the end. Awesome. And they win. And then here's the final great shot of a nice, real low angle shot. So they celebrate for about 10 minutes, Hulk,
they both help each other out of the ring.
Mm-hmm. And then Hulk really tries to make it about him. He's like, pointing at Ultimate Warrior, but also flexing, like, hey, yeah, this guy too, huh? And then he's like, gonna help him out of the ring. They finally make it to the other side of the ropes, and there's a cameraman on the outside waiting to look up at him, and all you can see is their cold, shriveled steroid dicks.
Little tiny testicles. 2 little raisinets.
Yep. And then Gorilla Monsoon says, that's it, Hot Rod, we made it. And Hot Rod says, we made it, thank God. And I said, damn right. You said it. And that was Survivor Series.
Also, Roddy Piper died.
Also, rest in peace to Roddy Piper, and rest in peace to Gorilla Monsoon.
Although I think he made it just old age. The old Gorilla Man.
He made it to a pretty late age. I forgot to get the number on it. That's 1990 Survivor Series. I remember watching that one a lot. It wasn't that impressive as an adult.
Yeah. No,
it was mostly just...
We were really into like the gimmick matches as kids. Your Royal Rumbles, your Survivor Series, your Fall Brawl War Games.
Hell yeah, War Games.
WCW was great for some of those weird ass gimmick matches they came up with.
Mm-hmm.
Remember like the weird... like almost like Royal Rumble thing they did where they're like two rings next to each other.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You got thrown into the other ring when you were eliminated, right? And at the end, it was a one-on-one match between the 2 people that ended up in both rings.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm going to try to find that on the WWE Network.
That's got to be one of the Starcades or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. Yeah, WCW did have some strange gimmick matches.
Kevin Sullivan had that really weird one where they stacked a bunch of rings on top of each other too.
Yeah, right? You had to go through like the dungeon. The Hulkster had to go through it. Face the Dungeon of Doom. Kevin Sullivan. Dungeon of Doom.
Giant of Tree Woes.
Tree Woes. Me and the Buddha Dean. I went through the jungle of Satan's hell's butthole. Kevin Sullivan. He's actually responsible for the Benoit murders.
VHS KvLT.
Oh, we're not done yet. Fucking all right. Imagine we're a tag team in the 1990s.
All right,
this is 1990 era. The sort of the end of the Hulkster era, but it's this period where It's not so over the top, but we're getting there.
It's straight up. It's gonna be if Vince is still in charge and it's the late 80s, early
What's our
90s,
gimmick?
We're just like the Irishman. One of us is drunk. The other one's like in the IRA.
Oh, we are for sure an IRA gimmick. Absolutely. That's a great pitch to Vince because he loves like the Irish stereotype gimmicks. Still doing it now with Shamo.
Yeah. Hey, we might still be able to pitch that. You want to be a wrestler?
Fucking, I'm ready. I've been working out. I could probably wrestle now. Diamond Dallas Page didn't start till he's 35. And look what happened.
Look at him now.
He's still alive doing yoga. Hell yeah, that IRA would have been fucking perfect in the early 90s. You could like be heels in England and then like be facing the United States.
You could be facing Ireland too.
Yeah, and just like anytime you go to Boston, Chicago, New York, San Francisco, be like, it's the IRA. Like, woo! People donating money at us. Thanks, plastic patties. Nah, that for sure that would have been perfect. We'd have to like work on Irish accents.
I got a pretty good one.
I don't know if I do.
Also, it's the WWF, so you don't have to be good at your accent.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I forgot to really brainstorm what our ideas were gonna be, or like what like my pitch would be for our gimmick. But I was gonna do something that was like politically incendiary too, but like for the time period, and like could like never like what would have been like something that was acceptable, but like pushing the limits for like cable TV.
I don't know, the Ross Perot.
Yeah, and
I'll tell you what now.
I couldn't like ever get to the point where it would have made sense within the existing WWF.
Yeah, I can't.
But fucking the IRA is like a really good idea.
Yeah.
You could absolutely sell that in the WWF. It's a very serious thing, but
so is the Iraq War. But as you can see,
and the audience there like won't know enough about it to realize that it's like offensive
until you go to England.
Yeah, then they'll be like, "Oh, you know what our tag team would be? We'd be the Troubles." Ooh, that's a dark joke.
That'll be the last name too.
Shane
Trouble.
No, he'd probably give us like, well, it's the O'Gillicuddy brothers or the McGillicuddies or O'Hoolahans. They're the Troubles. And then, yeah, we come out with our balaclavas on and the AK-47s and the Irish flag. But, man, that's a good gimmick. Someone's got to try this shit now. Finn Balor, get on it. Do your country proud, boy. Oh, shit. Yeah, we would have been really mixed it up. What if we came out of the egg and just started shooting?
There would have been some shock faces.
You know the angle that they do eventually, Attitude Era, where Vince's car gets blown up. Oh jeez. Oh man. I hope we don't have like, if we have an audience.
I hope we have an angry audience.
Hopefully they're not super uptight about the Troubles.
We don't have a lot of. We actually do have a couple people listen from England, so sorry guys.
Whatever. You guys shouldn't have.
You knew what you were getting into. I assume at this point.
You knew what you're getting into in the 1500s. Shit. All right. Well, yeah. That's a happy Thanksgiving. WWF in the 90s still rules. Jake Snake's the best. Ted DiBiase's the best. Bret Hart's good. Rockers are good.
Roddy Red Piper's great.
McVentureProductions.com. I'd like to do more of the wrestling stuff because I have a lot of fun researching it and stuff, but it takes more effort than watching a movie and stealing IMDb quotes. So we'll see how that goes. VHS Cult, McVentureProductions.com. Have a good Thanksgiving. If you're Canadian, have a good your Thanksgiving, which I think maybe already happened or is happening soon.
The day after? I can't remember what time it actually happened.
I'm sorry, Canada. Our grandfather's from Canada.
VHS Cult. Just like Roddy Piper.
Yeah, Nova Scotia. Oh, whoa. VHS Cult. Goodbye.